Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Megan,
And this is Joe Smith.
and we're so excited to have our first podcast recording for 2024. Yay.
Whoop, whoop.
So, we made a little change that we talked about we would be doing for this year. We're going to do it should be the fourth Tuesday of every month. We'll have a live recording of our podcast. We might have guests. We might use the wheel. We might just come on and talk. Members of the Do Better Collective are welcome to join us at any point and participate in the conversation as well. So if you're a member, you have a Zoom link where you can join us and be part of this experience if you would like to do that. We have one member in with us right now, but this is like a fairly new, I just sent out the email because I was, had high hopes that I would be very organized for 2024. And in some ways I am more organized than in the past. So for example, for the Do Better Collective, for the first time ever, we have all of our 2024 webinars up on our website, like on the calendar with the titles and presenters. And that has never happened before. So I'm super excited about that. Huge shout out to Gino for helping to get that done. And soon I'm working with the web developer. We're also setting it up to where each of the webinars will also be in our course library so people can like sign up ahead of time instead of waiting and it being like a few months to get access to things and all of that kind of stuff. So we are leaps and bounds ahead on that stuff, but I'm like behind on other things. So I did go on a cruise for a week and it was an amazing way to start the year, but also it just put me into more of like a distress space now that I'm back of like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff to do. So, Joe, how is your year starting off?
um, that's a loaded question. Um, I think it is going well. It's definitely a lot of things between just being a dad and a BCBA, there's a lot of great things going on. It's busy. And I got to watch my son play indoor soccer for the first time, and it was actually challenging for him, but it was awesome because he loved it. He loved the challenge. So there's definitely things that we need to work on and in, get better at. But uh, we're in a good place. Like he's playing soccer again. It's been a hot minute because the last time that we wanted to play soccer, uh, he was told that he was on a wait list, which was, not fun. So we're making progress there. But as a BCBA, I feel like it's going well, and I'm in the thick of it right now with treatment plans and um just continuing supervision with my RBTs and clients, and it it's going well. But like I said, like one of the things that I've been doing is really looking into how to be more effective and more efficient with my work, and also how to plan better, which is something that we're both like looking at to do better this year too, Megan. It sounds like.
Yes. Yeah. It was really funny because I had over the past like few months or probably most of 2023, I've been learning about various things for taking care of my body and mental health more and different things to do. And I'm going to make a post about it at some point, but I just need to get caught up on things first. But I was like, I'm finally home and I have a few weeks where I'm here, and it's been really hard to establish a routine and get into any habits because I travel so much and I'm not here and then I was like, I'm also feeling really overwhelmed by the self-care improvement stuff that I'm doing, and like, why do I feel so overwhelmed? Well, I went ahead and like made a mental list of everything. And I was like, there's like 30 different things here. No wonder I can't get into any, but it was stuff I would slowly, oh, cold plunging. Yeah, I need to do that. Oh, the sun, I need to do that. Oh, this supplement, I need to take that. Oh, breath work, I need to do that. And it was just like, like adding things in. And then once I finally looked at this like long list of stuff that I learned about in 2023, that all of the things I've seen benefits from, but I can't get into this like flow, fluent, easy, like this is just my life, way of living these things. It's like one or two of the things happen each day. Supplements, I'm almost at like 100% taking those because I feel so different, especially being in perimenopause. Like if I don't take my supplements, I'm like a completely different person. But some of the other things, it's like there just wasn't enough time to do that today. And then I beat myself up about not doing the thing to take care of myself. And it's just like this vicious cycle. So I bought this, actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because it's, I have the green screen, but I bought like, it's kind of, my friend saw it and he was like, oh, I think that looks like, I'm going to turn the green screen off for a second. Let's see. Nope. That didn't work. It just blurred that too. But
Try put in
basically
your
he thinks it looks like a bullet journal there. You can kind of see it
yeah.
now. So it has like on this side, it has the things like the hour from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. And then there's like a priority section and a to-do list and then like a notes section. So I basically I've been going through and listing out all of the various like healthy things that I want to do. And I'm not beating myself up. I'm like, I look at that list and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get as much of this done as possible each day. But like, if I don't, and I'm just checking off or putting an X, it's like my baseline data. Like, did I actually do this thing or not? And then, but even just having that like listed out and having it off of my head as like the cognitive load of constantly thinking about this, but it's just here and it's already written out and I don't have to be like processing all of these different things has helped so much. And then I don't even know if I'm going to have to put in an intervention, but I'm getting the data and I'll be able to see if there's certain things that like consistently are being done and certain things that are consistently falling by the wayside. And then I can decide, maybe we'll have another sporadic conversation like this and we can come up with an intervention for Megan for the things that are not happening. But I did my first like I've been wanting to do strength training and get more consistent with that for a while. And I'll do it like, and then like, I'll do like one workout and then 3 weeks later, I might do another workout or something like that. But I have it planned into my day now. I did not go this morning because we talked about I had some like sleeping difficulties. But I did go yesterday and I'm definitely going tomorrow. Nicole said you should pick just a couple of goals a month. So that was kind of my problem though. I was doing that. Like I was like, I'm not going to overwhelm myself, in 2023. I'm not going to overwhelm myself. I'm going to learn and shape and like slowly add in these things. Well, I did that basically for all of 2023, but I still haven't hit that like flow of just this is my life style. So I'm trying to get to that like next step of these things, but I think the cognitive load of having that like list of 20 or 30 different things that I was trying to do to be healthy was exhausting me, just that in and of itself. So now that I have this list, I can it's off my brain. I'm not just sitting here like constantly thinking about, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. It's just like there and I have it planned out and organized. But Nicole, yes, if I have like multiple areas where I'm not consistently doing those, I'm probably going to have to come up with a one area at a time or something like that, but they all like fit together and I just want to be my healthiest self and I'm struggling getting there.
And that's the interesting part. That's the caveat. It's like, yeah, you're trying to do all these things to get to your healthiest self, but how overwhelming it is keeping you from being your healthiest self.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe so like I have listened to a couple podcasts where it talks about like there's so many different things you can do out there, but trying to figure out like how to incorporate them is so difficult, especially when you don't have a routine
Mm-hmm.
or you're like you and I, both live like very fast paced, everything changes moment to moment. Like, I was doing really well at the gym, and then all of a sudden it hit where like I got slammed with like treatment plans. And like now it's like, all right, now I there's no way I can like I should be able to go to the gym, right? Like there should be no reason why I can't go to the gym. Um, but it's not happening. Just because other things pop up, and being a dad, and being at home and being present, like there's just so many things. So I give myself some grace, and if I can just focus on one aspect that helps me, and I know that is the most beneficial, that's what I'm heading towards first to do. So, like, you might have that list of 30 things, maybe choose like three that are the most beneficial, that will have the most direct impact on your health and your self care, and focusing on that. And then once you have good consistency with that, then sprinkle in maybe one or two more self-care habits that will help you. Like vitamins, that's a great way. Like that's super beneficial. That's going to help you the most, and it's going to provide the most benefits. And the difficulty of doing that daily is really low. All you have to do is have it in front, like on your nightstand, and be able to just take it and you're done.
Yeah. Well, and that's like a lot of the things that are on this list, they're not necessarily, they don't take up a lot of time and effort. It's just, again, when you have that many things that you're trying and you don't have a routine and you're constantly like, I'm not typically in one space. I'm traveling to different places. So, but having it written out and being able to, uh, try to get some sort of habit going with it is definitely helping because I'm seeing like what times of the day I'm more likely to do certain things. Um, and all of that. So Nicole also said once you hit mastery for a couple of months, it comes off the list and trust it will maintain. I definitely agree with that as well. As we all know, it's so funny how easy it is for us to do this with other people, but
Mhm.
when we try to do it with ourselves, it's so difficult. But yeah, like I look at the list and some of the things like the one thing I have on here is like I really want to stick to in the mornings when I first wake up, like not getting on my phone for like the first hour of the day. Like that should not be, that is not a labor intensive thing. It's just built, my habit right now is to immediately check my phone as soon as I wake up, right? So it's like breaking that habit and like getting that new habit in place and do it in like that level of response effort for like 10 or 15 different things, right? Um
Mhm.
and I've been like dabbling and sporadically doing for the past year, but I'm like, okay, it's time to just do this. So, and the worst thing is I know that based off of all the things I've like read and learned about, the strength training one is like probably the most impactful. Like if you're talking about what's the thing that would improve your life the most right now, it's like no matter and I keep hoping I'll find information that says otherwise, but I'm not. It's the strength training. And that is like the most aversive one to me because it's the highest response effort, right? Like it takes up at least 30 minutes, probably an hour of my day, and it's just like giving up that chunk of time plus the physical exertion is just it's very difficult for me to do that. Like I could do all of the other things and not do the strength training, but that won't affect me the way like for the changes I'm wanting to see, the strength training needs to happen.
Yeah, and I agree, like, strength training is the most beneficial, and from what I gathered from the podcast I listened to, and just, like, other strength training, gurus out there, like, it shouldn't be draining on you. After you complete it a couple times, you get more energy, so you should have
Yeah,
more
if I could just
energy
get into
from
it, I'd be fine, but it's like that initial like week of
well,
establishing it.
that's where, like, they say, like, when you first start strength training, go under. Like, you should be going to the gym or, like, work out, but not even feel like you did anything.
Yeah.
Just get that habit in place and then slowly work your way in. That's where, like, people go wrong, where they try to strength train and try to do overexert themselves. Like, I got sweat, I got worked out, and then guess what happened? DOMs. They have that inability to like they have like muscle soreness
Mhm.
all over and they can't move and they're like, I can't move my arms.
Yep.
And guess what happens? Then they're like, "Oh, I should take it easy and back up." That's not how you strength train. Strength training, it should be like done in small increments, and you should be able to go in, work out, and not even feel sore the next day. You might feel a little sore, but not to the point where like your legs are loosey goosey.
Right.
That's what happened to me. Like when I first started, I my legs were so loosey goosey, I couldn't walk very well, and that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing because like I think when was it? Maybe in the summer, like early summer, I made a schedule like this one's more detailed and better organized, but I tried to update my block schedule and I had like a few days in a row where I did swimming and some strength training and I basically worked my body so hard it felt like I'd been hit by a truck and then I never resumed.
Yeah.
I need to take a break today, and then it just never came back. So,
Mhm.
um, but so Nicole had one more comment. She said, "If I traveled as much as you, I would set everything up for travel mode and use it like that, even when I am home." That's kind of what I'm hoping to, like with the way that I have structured this document that I got. It's like should be portable. I should be able to do these things outside of my home and like wherever I am. Again, the hardest part's going to be that the strength training like gym stuff, but I found a good I've been trying to find like I've played around with different apps and websites and I just couldn't find one. Whenever I've done more stuff at the gym or working out, I do well with someone telling me what to do, whether it's a trainer or an app. And I just haven't been able to find one lately that is like doing what I want it to. And I finally found something. So I'm hoping that'll help me stay motivated as well. Because again, it's like I'm getting some of my friends are making fun of me, but it's like there's so much on my brain all the time. The more I can automate and have something else tell me what to do, then I'm more likely to do it, right? As opposed to if I'm constantly having to put in extra effort to make the habit happen or to make the new thing happen, obviously as we know as behavior analysts, the more response effort, the less likely it is that we're going to do the thing. So the app, it's a website that I found. They might have an app that goes with it, but I'll drop the link to the website. It's really nice. They have different you can like find different workouts based off of whether you're, assigned female or male at birth, and then you can also it has like haven't played around with the filters, but in looking at the descriptions, it describes workouts where you can, at home only, like if you don't have any gym equipment, or for me right now, I don't have a gym, like the gym that I have that's here, doesn't have anything besides dumbbells. So there's no other equipment. So they have dumbbell only workouts and then they have like full gym workouts. So it's really nice. I'm gonna pull it. I just have to pull up the site. So normally, when we meet on our Tuesdays, we have the wheel, and we have that pick our topic. But I just sort of started word vomiting everywhere, and we've kind of been talking about some stuff. So I don't think we need to spin the wheel today. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to either. I really like this topic, especially since it's beginning of the year. You know, the whole idea of new year, new me, like
Yeah.
it kind of plays into that, but it also at the same time, it's like it plays into like the whole idea of doing better. We are not trying to just only do better as clinicians or RBTs or clinical directors, but we're also trying to do better as ourselves and trying to improve ourselves. And that's where I kind of am at this journey right now is like, what can I do to do better as just an individual and a whole person? And right now, planning, leadership, and just finding ways to be more productive is definitely my jam right now and where I'm at. It sounds like what you have too, Megan, ties right along with like what I have. I have a something called a high performance planner.
Mhm.
It was created by Brandon Bouchard, and he has his whole podcast and business surrounded about productivity. And one of the things that I learned from his podcast is brain dumping. And I know that's been going around a couple years, but like when I've done it at night, it really helps me shut off my brain. And it also helps me to remember, like, make sure I have something written down of like things I need to do or things I thought of during the day. And
Yeah.
it's really helpful to make sure that I'm on point with what I need to do and what has been, I mean, like whatever has been told to me during the day, anything that someone needs, like it's there. So then I can remember because I definitely have a difficult time at times remembering everything that's goes through, goes on during the day.
Yep.
And if it's not written down, I forget it.
Yeah. And that definitely is something like the older we get, the harder it is, but also having kids definitely incorporates or influences a lot, all of those types of things. So, um, awesome. We have a couple of folks on from the collective. And like I said, we didn't come in here with a topic plan. We don't usually, but we sort of just started talking about what we're up to for 2024. So if either of the folks that are in from the collective want to share in the chat or come on the microphone, we'd love to hear more about, anything that y'all are focusing on right now or thinking about for 2024. And if not, what we'll probably do is we try to keep these short. I have the hour blocked out for when we meet, especially if we end up having an interview. So we're definitely going to interview Callie in the future. We keep scheduling and then for one reason or another we have to change it. But unfortunately she was sick today and I hope she's feeling better. But we are going to be interviewing her soon. And if anyone else, wants to be interviewed or knows of a person that would do well with an interview, Joe and I, speaking of being disorganized and trying to do better, we don't really have the capacity right now like we used to contact people and interview them. So we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants at this point because we want to keep doing the podcast, but we don't have time to do it in the way that we used to. So we're happy to interview anyone that wants to talk with us though.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, I like this. Nicole said, I pick a word of the year and then order a bracelet with my word on it that I wear every day for the year. This is my third year doing it and I like it better than resolutions. I love that so much.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think what my word of the year would be for this year. I'm gonna think about that, and then when we meet in February for the podcast recording, hopefully I can update because I don't I feel like I can't just pick it right now. Although it probably should be something where I just say it, whatever comes up first, but I don't know. Nicole's is focus. Joe, do you have a word that comes up for you?
Yeah. So one of the things I have noticed a lot for me is, and it comes up in like this is the thing I want to do better this year is be more disciplined.
Discipline?
Yeah, discipline with my workouts, with my routine, my food intake. Like I want to be more disciplined. Like, and that plays in that whole idea of 75 hard,
Hmm.
where it's a mental challenge to be disciplined. And this is black and white. This is what it is. Did you do it or you didn't? And if you didn't, well, you weren't disciplined enough to do it.
Yeah.
So, and I like that. I like that idea of like no excuses, um, like, oh, I can try or modifications. It's like this is what it is, and if you want it, you need to be disciplined and focus on it.
Yeah.
So
Funny, like the word that came up for me, but it's probably because of what we were talking about, is like organized. Feel so disorganized right now. But I'm gonna have to think about it. I will confirm in February if mine's gonna be organized or not. Martine said blessed for my passwords. Oh, that's I like that. So blessed is the focus for this year. I haven't ever done that before. I like haven't ever thought about doing that, like updating my, and then you get to type it in every time. It's not her whole password, don't worry if you are trying to hack anything, but um but then you type it in. I love that. I was listening to a podcast yesterday that was talking about um whether or not manifesting is real, and like if the secret is actually a thing. And one of the things that they were talking about is some research that's being done, and there's this new method where you, whatever your thing is that you're trying to do, you write it down. I think it was like 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night. So you have all of those times that you're writing it down and repeating it as a thing. And of course, we all know that the research on, like, if whatever is like taking your attention is what you're focusing on, and then you're more likely to do that thing, and like behavior momentum and all that kind of stuff. But they were talking about that and like what the difference it would make if you're doing that, as opposed to like setting a goal and then never looking at it or thinking about it or talking about it. Like set your resolution and then, you don't really put any attention toward it. But if you're writing something down 18 times a day, you're much more likely to be focused on things around whatever it is that you're writing down. So I thought that was an interesting piece. But then, of course, with my long list of things, I'm like 18 times a day. Who has time for that? But if you tie it in to your passwords, like then you get to do it. You're like making it functional. You get the
yeah,
word, and it's going to happen multiple times per day every time you type in your password. I love it.
that's
Maybe I should do
also
that on my phone, and instead of like the number code, make a word.
I like that idea. That's almost like I would love to see the research on like so one thing that I've been noticing is a lot of the productivity and also um just growth podcasts I've listened to, they have been also stating that vision boards are super important for them, and they visualize like what their plan is in 10 years or like what they want.
Hmm.
And I I would love to see the research and like see if that's something that's if anyone has ever done any research on how effective that is as a strategy to like move towards that goal, or is that beneficial for a long time goal planning,
Yeah.
you know?
They were actually talking about that on the episode too. Because that was like part of the big focus of the episode, and it's the No Stupid Questions podcast that I love to listen to. And um the Angela Duckworth is like the main one of the, she's the host, and there's a new host now and I can't remember his name. But she was talking about how I loved this conclusion that they came to. Basically, that process of, the vision, whether it's the vision board or whatever you're doing from like a manifesting standpoint, and you're like putting it out and you're coming up with a plan. Well, you're visualizing the steps, and you're coming up with a plan, and you're getting organized about something. Obviously, it's much more likely that the thing is going to happen than if you don't ever put that attention toward it or come up with those plans. But they were talking about the reason why it might happen or not happen is how well you also account for obstacles. And there was an acronym that they shared that someone has come up with. I think it's WOOP, WOOP. And now I can't remember what it all stands for. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, feel free to type it in the chat. But in that, you're looking at your planning and stuff, and you have your obstacles, and what will you do for the obstacles you encounter? Because this whole idea of like, oh, I just put it out into the universe and it happened, like that's likely not going to happen. You can't just say I'm going to be a millionaire and then all of a sudden, you know, you say that every day when you wake up and you're a millionaire. Like, no, there's other things that are going on with that, and part of it is how well you predict what obstacles you might face, and what you do in the when you know, encounter those obstacles. So I'll put the link in the chat. Have you ever heard that acronym, Joe? The WOOP?
I haven't heard the WOOP acronym, but one of the things that you just said about how you plan for obstacles, like one of the things in my high performance planner is every day you write down what is what is one challenge you might face today, and how will you overcome that obstacle, and you write that down. So you're already thinking in your head like, okay, this could be something that pops up. Let me have a plan on how to handle it. And I love that. I love that little visualization and just planning ahead of, you know, potential things that might throw you off and get you in that right mindset. Okay, I can do this, and I have a plan. I can attack my day, and I'm not going to let this little thing get in my way. So that's kind of cool that it, it we have like similar like ideas and similar things that we've been hearing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've always wondered about those planners. I see lots of people with you know, post about different planners that they use and they just absolutely love them. And I'm always like, oh, that looks like so much work. And then for like this thing that I found here, I'm like, well, this is a good middle ground one because I don't have to answer a bunch of questions. But
Yeah, yeah. I like that. So I used to bullet journal. I love bullet journal, but I found it just like I had so many different books and it wasn't like perfect. Like I could do anything I want in my bullet journal. It's just the fact that to sit down and actually spend the time to like map things out. Like I need the template, but I need it to be fluid with me. But right now, I'm really big into the idea of time blocking
mhm,
and blocking my day off, and also over identify the time needed for different meetings and appointments. Because then if I had an hour long appointment, but ends at like 30 minutes, that's 30 more minutes that I got back that I could attack something else.
yeah,
So I kinda like that idea as well. So I'm trying out it's interesting because it's also as a BCBA, it's difficult to time block, I feel at times because it also depends a lot on situations that happen at work and if I need to cover or if I need to pivot in the within a day. F because of a technician calling out or someone gets sick. Around here, traffic is a big one. So it's interesting um, just to see it being trying to see if it works well for us.
yeah,
But from what I'm gathering, like, it works for like high executives of Fortune 500 companies that time blocking works for them and it's efficient, especially with their day, how it constantly pivots. So if any clinician or anyone out there that's a BCBA or clinical director is of strategies, please let me know. I would love to hear how you plan your day.
and we have well, we didn't, not specifically, but I did add, you had the question about the uh leadership, like how people for behavior analysts that are wanting to be in leadership positions. So I have that on the wheel for next time.
Perfect.
You know, whenever we do. I put a link in the chat here on Zoom, but then also on I'll put it in the notes for that episode, the manifesting one. And there's also, I love at the end of their show notes, they have links to their sources. And there was the whole thing, that the reason why they were having this episode is they were discussing this research article. So I linked that in the chat as well. It's some research that folks did on that's funny. I'm going to tell you in just a second, Joe. This
Okay.
research they did on manifesting, there were 3 different studies within this one publication, and it's free open access. But so I looked up WOOP and what it stands for. It stands for wish, outcome, obstacle, plan. And the reason I was laughing is the link I'm about to post is from the Human Performance Resources. But it makes your like high performance journal that you were talking about, or organizer that you were talking about. So um
Nice.
but there's a ton. If you look up WOOP and manifesting, there's a ton of people talking about it, and TikTok videos and blogs and things like that. So if anyone wants to learn more about WOOP, um I love the acronym. I love how behavior analytic it is, with it's similar. They talk about this in here, like it's similar to, having a SMART goal and stuff like that. But I just think, especially even, I mean, we could have a whole separate episode on this, or I could probably even do a webinar at some point. But if you're thinking about supervising people and training your supervisees and in becoming successful and positive focused behavior analysts, teaching them this WOOP method, it would be really helpful, especially with clients, because a lot of the times, especially when you're in their coursework and stuff, we hear about how effective our science is, but then once you're out in the real world and you're encountering clients, there's a whole lot of obstacles that are not discussed in graduate school. But if you get practice with doing that during your supervision, hopefully you'll be more successful once you're out in the real world.
I love it. Yeah. I would love to, even dive in that topic a little bit later too.
Yep. I will definitely put it on our wheel. Or actually that one might just be one we decide to look into more, and have just like we're doing today, this random episode.
Yep.
We
Love
don't
it.
even, so all right. Well, we've rambled quite a bit without even having a planned topic. Martine and Nicole, thank you for joining us live. Did either of you have anything else you want to add? Feel free to type it in the chat or come on the microphone. And while we're seeing if there's anything else from the two of you, we will be on again recording live on the February. I'm just checking the date. February 20th. I am on a cruise again that day, so we might have to get creative. I'll have to check what I'm up to, but hopefully we'll still be able to do it, because I really I think organized is going to be my word this year, and I really even with traveling and kind of being all over the place, I want to get some semblance of like a routine and all of that kind of stuff, and just like have a less chaotic life for 2024. So hopefully we'll see everyone on the 20th at 12 o'clock.
All right. Sounds good.
That's the right, hold on, let me make sure I'm telling you the right one. No, not the 20th. Good. The 27th is the 4th Tuesday. So we will for sure be here. The 4th Tuesday is February 27th, 12 p.m. If you're a member of the collective and you're listening to this, almost all of our live events that involve me are on Tuesdays this year at 12, trying to keep it consistent. So next week we'll be doing, instead of the podcast recording, it'll be a meeting with me. And I sent out an email with all of that information just a little bit ago. So hopefully I'll see some of you at our first meeting of the year. And thank you, Nicole. I'm glad you had fun. And thank you, Martine, for joining as well. I'm glad you enjoyed listening. Any closing words, Joe?
I have closing words, and it's go forth and do better.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.